Central Processing houses the control systems which are used to process data for experiments, archive data, and manage the CPU overhead for security and regular day-to-day operations of the entire outpost on Mars. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Doom 3 walkthrough with commentary. We have arrived in the CPU bank. Straight off of the bat, there's a health station to the left.
I am waiting for you. Waiting to kill you.
And Sarge is incredibly impatient, so we should probably go speed up our process of getting through the level and make sure that we can meet up with Sarge and see what's going on with him. This Marine over here, I'm gonna steal his rocket launcher because it doesn't really look like he's gonna use it anytime soon. This area at the very start has a bit of a frenetic pace. If you go to the right, you're gonna spawn enemies. If you go to the left, you're gonna also spawn enemies. And around both of those corners are gonna be a bunch of spiders. It can get a little bit scary at times. I mean, at first, it's just a couple of imps, but then they start throwing some skeletons at you, and also those chain gun commandos are probably the biggest worry that you have. So, I'm gonna try and take care of them as quickly as possible. The spiders themselves, as long as you just kind of hang around these pillars, then they probably won't have as much of a chance to hit you. On the other hand, the chain gun commandos will just hunt you down because they're super fast and totally balanced enemies that everybody loves, right? And there's the spooky, scary skeleton I was waiting for. There we go. Where'd that rocket come from? Alright, these skeletons are actually proving to be a little bit competent with their rocket homing skills, and I'm being hit by a bunch of spiders. Probably not the greatest start to a level. There is an adrenaline power-up around this place. In fact, there are two of them, which can prove to be incredibly handy for the given situation. So I'm going to go pick one up as soon as possible, but first of all, I'm just gonna get rid of that guy who's trying to chase me down while I'm retreating, so that way I can raid this health station. I may end up using the soul cube maybe once or twice throughout this level, although I'm kind of hoping that won't be necessary, seeing as how this had a little bit of a rocky start and those revenants were actually proving to be much stronger than I had anticipated. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Over here is just a health kit and a few more spiders. They'll either approach from this angle or they'll approach from the exact opposite end of the room. But I'm going to go to the opposite end of the room anyway, because it has that adrenaline power-up I was referring to. Also, this is going to be the level where we're going to be acquiring all of our ammunition again.
I look into your soul, and I see fear.
So now is the point in time where they decide to spawn in a couple more nasty enemies, and that's most notably includes the Archviles. And, oh hey, there's still a couple of spiders remaining. Well, just give me a moment to take care of those, and we'll also get rid of these couple of wraiths on our way. The Archviles will only spawn wraiths in this area, but it is recommended that you kill the Archviles as quickly as possible. And once you make some progress over here after picking up that second adrenaline power-up, let's go to spawn this Archvile! Whee! However, the chain gun makes mincemeat out of him, so it's not too much of a concern. That imp just is actually a natural enemy spawn. The only thing you have to worry about, I'll reiterate, when it comes to the Archviles summoning new monsters, is just going to be them couple of wraiths. But there you go, that is the first area out of the way. And this entire level is sort of divided into different sections, and this was probably one of the more difficult parts at the very start. And this is the point of division, where we have the pits of hell opening up at the very bottom of this place. I like the design of this, but I kind of question the practicality of having this there. If that were a swimming pool, I would be less opposed to it, and this would be a great place to have a high dive. Unfortunately, everyone is allergic to lava in this place. So let's go ahead, call the bridge, and make sure all of my weapons are reloaded. So let's go ahead and take out our machine gun, because the machine gun is actually going to be very helpful right here, as well as the shotguns as well, if these particular enemies get a little bit too close. They're going to start spawning cacodemons over this pit. And it's a step up from Lost Souls, considering how much damage these guys tend to tank. There's going to be 3 of them in total, so I'm going to back off for a minute, switch to my shooty. I suppose you could try using the chainsaw against these two guys, but I don't know. There's not a whole bunch of space to maneuver around, and it gets a little bit uncomfortable when they approach that close. So, central processing is our intended destination. That is towards the end of the level, but we do not have proper security clearance for that. We need to find the local administrator and get his permission to head to central processing. So, we can either go to the server bank or storage. Storage is completely optional, and we're going to go there after we head towards the server bank. So, let's move on ahead and enter this place. I think I'm going to use my plasma rifle for a little bit of time. Walking into this hallway, we just have a couple of imps. But there's no problem right there. A nice big pack of rockets for our troubles right here as well. And there are going to be a couple of tentacle commandos in this place as well, so this seems like a good time to use the chainsaw. There is one that's going to run all the way from the bottom floor as soon as he can figure out how to walk through doors. Come on, buddy. I know you can do it. Just give the AI a little bit of time and it'll eventually figure out where it's supposed to go. Yeah, you can see. He's going to pathfind his way all the way up here. But in the meantime, we better deal with this imp who spawns behind us. And in a moment, that door should open up twice because he couldn't figure out how to walk through the door the first time. Not really surprised by that. And now we may move forwards. But first, want to pay attention to that secret area over there. I'm going to double back and be sure to jump towards that. But for now, let's take the stairs in a civilized fashion, the way normal people would play the level before going after secrets, and get rid of this little pest over here, along with all of his friends. Walking into this computer station will cause a few more spiders to spawn, so you may not wish to do that unless you're looking for a little bit of extra ammunition. And sauntering your way down here, if you are capable of listening to things around the world inside, you may be able to determine where exactly this next imp is hiding. But I forgive you if you can't exactly figure it out on your first try, but that is a point in time where grenades are actually more useful than rockets. So let's go ahead and pick up that secret right now, but just, oh. Well, if you enter this area anyway, that's going to cause these couple of imps to spawn, so just be mindful of that. Watch out for this flinging guy right here. Nice toss. And I'm gonna go after that secret afterwards. I may as well just go pick up the PDA that we need in order to enter the central processing unit. The administrator doesn't appear to be here, so I hope he doesn't mind if I steal his PDA. And this is a video terminal, a rather quiet video terminal, on the BFG 9000 actually. And there will be a corresponding video disc towards the end of the level, which explains how the BFG functions, and I actually recommend you listen into this one. It contains some pretty crucial information because we are going to be fighting a boss in this level. Spoiler warning, it is going to be Sarge. And if you recall correctly, he has a BFG, as reported by Campbell. So, I'll explain a little bit more behind how that boss functions once we actually reach him.
I can smell your fear.
Beware Sarge's deadly nostrils. And with that, this time I'm going to try and get those secret items again, and I was successful this time, but unfortunately, we're going to have to run up this hallway once more. I know, it's not a very exciting sight, but you got to see me pick up a couple of more items, especially rocket launcher ammo, and I think I'm actually just going to use it right here, because we got a few imps. May as well waste some of our rockets. I mean, like I said previously, we're pretty much going to get a complete ammunition refill in this level, so I'm not too concerned about how I spend my ammo. With all that said, let's move on to storage, which is the optional area which you could visit. And storage is always a fun place to be because it usually contains some pretty precious items. And this is, of course, the point of which we are going to be reacquiring all of the ammunition that we lost after we traveled through the portals. So we could either go to the right, which has a couple of interesting things, or we could go to the left, which has a closet with an explosive barrel. If you decide to enter this room without destroying the explosive barrel, nothing happens, and you can pick up those items freely without any interruption. However, if you destroy the explosive barrel and then enter the room, it causes two imps to spawn, one outside of the closet and one inside the closet. I don't know what's up with that one, but the way they handle enemy spawns in Doom 3 is just incredibly strange. So, once we round this corner, we're going to be encountering a couple of commandos. There's just that one guy at the end of the room, however there are also two that appear outside of that door. So, I'm just going to stay crouched for 1 second, wait for this guy to approach me, and show off this box of shotgun shells over here. I don't need them. I don't need them. I don't need to be a kleptomaniac this time. I do not need those shotgun shells. Instead, I need to pick up this health kit and that BFG cell. And you may be able to tell, if you can deduce what that sound is behind this wall panel, is a very noisy skeleton. If you pick up the BFG cell, nothing happens. If you pick up the health kit, however, it opens the closet. I don't know why that is, because we have a soul cube. I think the developers would have counted on us using the soul cube multiple times against multiple foes, but I don't know. That's a special one if you're just anti-soul cube and you want to rely on health kits strictly. So that's kind of the route I'm taking at this point in time. once you head towards this weapon stash, that's going to cause you to encounter that skeleton, and immediately afterwards that will cause an archvile to spawn. And again, this is an archvile that summons some wraiths. Oh, I missed that one. Give me a second. Boom. My shotgun aim is not particularly well this time around, but fret not. We can at least relieve our stress by refilling all of our plasma rifle ammo, get some more rockets. I'd say we are pretty good to go for the boss fight of this level, so let's skedaddle, move on, and I think we should be encountering about 3 more cacodemons above this bridge. Yes, once you exit storage, first of all, you will see this gentleman as he drops right back into the pits from whence he came, and now we have permission to enter central processing. And in order to make sure that we spawn the next 2 enemies, I need to actually stand back here, because if you stand at the edge of the bridge too early, then you only spawn 1 cacodemon instead of both. Why is that? I don't know. This is just the way enemy spawns work in this game. You know what? I think I'm actually just gonna use the soul cube against this guy. Here, take it. Eat it. There, get all my health back, because I'm going to be needing it for that boss fight. I mean, there are a couple of health kits available before the boss fight, but nonetheless, it never hurts to break out the companion cube once in a while. Here are some health kits, in case you didn't use the companion cube. Here's the video disc with the BFG 9000 information. So, this boss is Sarge, and he has a BFG 9000 equipped. And the thing about the BFG 9000, I think I may have sort of visually demonstrated this before, but the way the weapon functions is that once you fire a shot, the projectile itself travels very slowly across the room, and it actually deals gradual damage to all surrounding enemies. And it doesn't damage you because you were the person who's operating the device to begin with. So, you can actually destroy the BFG 9000 projectiles with a single bullet. And that's important to remember when fighting this boss, because he has the BFG 9000. The reason I'm not explaining it while I'm fighting the boss itself is because this boss can either be a total putz or your worst nightmare, depending on how you choose to fight it. So the idea here is to keep Sarge under constant fire, and you want to make sure you stand out of reach once he uses that melee attack, and again, destroy the BFG projectile with anything you have in your arsenal. The chain gun is probably the best option you have, and you can also use the soul cube against him if you just want to refill your health. But there you go, that's the end of the boss. It's really not all that difficult. Just to give you an idea of what this boss is named, it's not actually named Sarge. It's named Sabaoth. And you know, they always said that trying to take on the boss and argue with him was like trying to take on a tank with your bare hands. I honestly didn't think they meant it literally, but clearly, Sarge could not tank an excessive amount of damage. He can no longer tread on us for having earned all of these promotions, and he was so kind and gracious to leave us a spare BFG 9000. Hey Sarge. Hey Sarge. Thank you. So, this is the point of the game where it gives you that little tooltip on how to use the BFG, because they didn't count on you picking up the, I don't know, was it the 4 or 5 other ones we picked up in the previous levels, and subsequently lost because, you know, teleportation, it kinda happens. But there you go. We've reclaimed our BFG 9000, and yeah, that's, this boss, he looks so stupid. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to create a horror game with this entire aspect of Doom, rebooting the whole franchise and all, but this isn't scary. This looks like an action figure that would be sold in the 90s, despite its rather quote-unquote disturbing appearance. I want an action figure of this for reals, and just display it above my computer. Just... This is hilarious. This is amazing. I wish id Software did more of this for their games, because, man, I would totally buy at least 10 action figures of Sarge, who is actually fused with a tank. That's all I have to comment on. Let me go ahead, pick up a few more health kits, and the exit to this level is actually in the compartment where Sarge was hiding, I believe. So, let's crawl through this ventilation shaft, and we are actually out of enemies for this whole level, so having reclaimed our BFG 9000, let's shimmy our way down, jump over this pit. Come on, Marine. Marine? There we go. Alright, he was refusing to respawn for a little bit of time, but he remembered how legs work. And with that, enter the elevator and proceed to Site 3.